Hey everybody, Marco Casanova here, Desert Streaming. I'm going solo today. Katie is unavailable. She hates us. No, I'm just kidding. She's busy with other things. We're gearing up for our Theology of the Body Institute Living Waters training called Sexual Integration and Redemption. So we're super pumped about that. So she's super busy getting that off the ground. So we miss you, Katie. Also, we have a bird in the office. So Katie's been trying to get the bird out, and it's pretty funny. She screams a lot, and it's excellent footage. Be looking on the lookout for that. That may come out on our YouTube channel. Anyway, today I want to talk to you about the power of the incarnation. I know last episode we spoke about the incarnation and the Chiefs. Go Chiefs, Kansas City. We love Kansas City, but it's really cold here. It's warm today, a 33-degree high, which is awesome. But we are gearing up for a pretty cold weekend. All that being said, proceeding on, the incarnation, the power of the incarnation. But I want to talk about how that mystery of the incarnation can, in fact, help us, especially those of us who struggle with same-sex attraction. I think it's so important to probe the depths of this mystery a little bit more and trying to understand what it actually means that Jesus assumed a sexual human nature. That has so many implications for us. Now, of course, not exclusively people who struggle with same-sex attraction, but anybody who struggles with any sort of sexual and relational brokenness. The incarnation has implications, The God-man, the divine person, Jesus, the eternal word, became flesh. He assumed a sexual human nature, and when he assumed it, what does that mean? He redeems it, That which he does not assume isn't redeemed. He assumed it to redeem it. And so for us to say, well, the incarnate Jesus can't really heal persons with homosexual tendencies. It's like, well, wait a minute. This is what the incarnation is all about. He assumed it to redeem us, not from our bodies, but for them. And so I just want to talk about my love for that today and how incarnate Jesus continues to free me to be a good gift in this body, So that mystery, I think we need to revitalize it. Amen? Let's become apostles of the incarnation. Let's become people who are really on fire for the mystery that God has a body, has a sexual human nature, and he redeemed it to free us in mind, not to sort of maintain, but to really thrive, to rediscover, as Pope St. John Paul II says, our lost fullness. So I'm thinking about my first experience of Living Waters about 5 years ago. A little over 5 years ago now. And I was in the seminary at St. Charles in Philadelphia. A great place. Really provided a place for me to encounter Jesus and become a Christian. And it was during that season of my life that I was really struggling with, what am I going to do? What is Marco going to be about? Now, at this point in my life, I had confessed some pretty heinous stuff that I was doing within the while being in the seminary. I was pretty clean from that stuff, from pornography, acting out homosexually, and I was really eager to be a man freed to be a gift. But I didn't really know what that meant to my particular situation. Is my gift capped because I experienced same-sex attraction? Is my gift sort of, damaged goods, so to speak? Am I just supposed to be a celibate because of my experience of same-sex attraction? So I had a lot to discover. And so I reached out to this priest, and he said, check out this Living Waters thing. And this Living Waters experience, this Living Waters training, we have 3 a year. I'll link the link in the show notes, but you should all check it out. But it's an immersive experience that really changed the trajectory of my life. And that I'm not exaggerating when I say that. It really did change my life, A lot of things change our lives, but this changed my life. And I believe it was the power of Jesus incarnate who was calling me to take a risk, to cross a threshold of trusting him deeper than I ever had before. So when I came to the training for the first time, I would hear these witnesses of men and women who were coming out of homosexuality into the freedom of gift giving. It was incredible. It was good news to this soul that I never really experienced, like a witness of somebody who actually was finding the narrow way through the homosexual experience and looking for life beyond the fracture. You know what I mean? It wasn't just like, well, it's a really big cross and I'm really holy because of it. And, I hope to become a saint one day and find good friends and you can make it work. It was deeper than that. It was like anthropologically rousing because it's true that incarnate Jesus wants to go to the very depths of who we are and rediscover something of our lost fullness beneath the fracture, right? Deeper than the fracture, deeper still is this capacity to be what we are. What are we? I'm a man. That is my whatness. And who I am depends on how I go forward in that identity, in that reality. But I need the help of incarnate Jesus. And I need the help of an empowered community who have all tasted of this incarnate Jesus power to really help us in areas of deep need. So as I was hearing these witnesses at this training, I kid you not, like the domination of homosexuality was breaking, It was as if this low ceiling was being shattered by the witness of lives, So it wasn't some theological tome, although amazing, or it wasn't like a divine mystical experience, although those have been amazing too. But it was the power of Jesus breaking strongholds in people's lives that I was receiving as a participant, a pretty naive participant in this arena. And I was just absolutely floored. And I dare say something shifted in my life as I was bearing witness to the witnesses of the incarnation. And it was the first time I ever experienced like a real hope that Marco Casanova, I could move forward and actually have expectancy for my life. It wasn't like, well, you got to leave the seminary, don't become a priest, but like, I don't know, the Lord will have something for you. It was more than that, it was revitalizing. It sort of woke me up from a slumber of, well, I guess I just have to check out in gay celibacy, so to speak, because I'm not really made for more. And incarnate Jesus, through the words of these witnesses, was calling me deeper, was calling me much deeper. So I was so grateful for that. I've been a big fan, obviously, of Living Waters, and I encourage all of you who are really looking for like a breakthrough in your life. You know what I mean? Like you've tried everything, and you want something fresh and truly incarnational. Come to Living Waters. Do Living Waters. Come to a Living Waters training. That's where you'll get to experience a real, I think, a vision and version of the incarnation that is truly transformational, especially in these areas of deep vulnerability, like same-sex attraction. So the wounded Jesus, this Jesus who's wounded in the flesh, you can imagine like the Divine Mercy here, see? He's wounded, right, in his glory, the blood and water coming out of his side. He came near to me in my woundedness and helped me to see my wound aright. I would say that same-sex attraction is emblematic of a wound. And my wound is not my identity. My wound is not the sum total of my masculine reality. My wound is a place of profound encounter with Jesus, the wounded God-man who's magnetized to my wounds. Jesus draws near to us in areas where we have deep need, deep shame, whatever the case might be for you. Is it an area of frustration for me? Well, sure it is. But more so than that, it's become a kingdom opportunity, It's been the avenue through which I've come to know Jesus and to love Jesus. My wound as avenue to the incarnational reality. So gathering in the flesh with Jesus and his body, the church, really helps me to keep my wound clean, you know? So like for all of us who have familiar sexual vulnerabilities, be it same-sex attraction or whatever your lust of choice is, we all need Jesus and his body to remain clear, you know? And so it's frustration, not for frustration's sake, but unto coming into the body, you know? And Living Waters has been a great training ground for me to know that I am a wounded incarnational being, you know, that I have needs, I have areas of weakness, I have sin to confess, I have temptations, I have emotions that I have to be aware of, and all of those are fair game for a safe community. Hopefully the church is that for us, right? Where we can come into the light and say, I'm not doing well. I need help here. I need you to pray for me here. I need you to help me see the path ahead here. Or I'm being bombarded by old homosexual temptations, and I just want to bring those to the light, and I need to receive prayer in the mystical body of Christ. All of that, I think, is because of the profound reality of the incarnation. He assumed a body not so that we can only be freed in our body, but so that we can partake in some body membership in his church. You know, we can commune with other people, men and women alike, who are with us on the journey to becoming more chaste. So despite difficult brokenness from the past, Living Waters really gave me a roadmap beyond my familiar fracture, you know, and incarnate Jesus is teaching me. He's teaching me how to be a gift in this body. So what does that even mean? What does it mean to be a gift? Because I think the whole reason, or a reason, why Jesus became one of us, why he assumed a sexual human nature, is it's the ultimate gift, you know? He is the ultimate gift, and his gift allows me to be a gift. His gift allows you to be a gift in your sexual humanity. It's because of his gift. So our wholeness hinges on the incarnation. He is the doorway through which we all can come into a greater fullness of who I am as man, who you are as woman. So the incarnate Jesus gives us a good deal through his incarnation. So, but I, you know, like most people, I think, I hope you would agree. We need a roadmap, you know, we need guides. We can't just do this on our own. We can't do this in isolation. We can't do this in front of a screen just by, you know, watching videos and being on Zoom. I think those are helpful, but I think we're healed in the flesh, you know, and I needed an empowered community, but also a roadmap. I need an accompaniment, but I also need a direction. It's not an accompaniment to nowhere. It's an accompaniment with direction, with indeed a roadmap. So what does it mean to be a gift in our bodies? Well, my sexuality, your sexuality has power and meaning. So everyone listening here is a sexual person. And that means that we have a responsibility to know what that means and to see our God-given capacity to co-create. That's just baseline humanity, right? If you're a man, if you copulate with a woman, you will probably bear life, and vice versa. That's huge, right? That potential as a sexual human being is a quite amazing potential. It's the fact that you and I are co-creative it's an incredible reality, and we have to understand and accept that reality. Being a sex being comes with a responsibility. It's a privileged responsibility that we're a part of the human race. It's a gift, and there's a duty attached to that gift. The fact that I am a man able to bear life in union with a woman, I have to come to grips with, what does that mean for me? You know, I think many people in our arena today would say, well, I have same-sex attraction, so I don't really have to worry about that. I don't really have to worry about marriage or worried about, you know, being romantically involved with the other because I'm gay or I have same-sex attraction. I would say let's look deeper, you know, deeper than the fracture, is this reality of who you are, your whatness, you know? And with that comes responsibility. So what does that mean for you? What does it mean to actually be a cooperator in that co-creativity? What does it mean? It's a privileged responsibility. I mean, think about it. The fact that we are able to bear life is an incredible reality. Bear life, women, sire life, men. This is an incredible reality. So, but for me, new life, I mean, back in the seminary, I was like, new life? I wanted nothing to do with my sexuality that was generative. Wasn't I disqualified from all of that? I mean, aren't I damaged goods, right? No one wants to be with me, a guy who struggles with homosexuality. But incarnate Jesus didn't give me a pass. He doesn't give any of us a pass. It's too costly. It's too beautiful. It's too important. The fact that he assumed it to redeem it. He's redeemed it. He's redeemed it in you. He's redeemed it in me. He is redeeming it in you. He is redeeming it in me. That's too costly a gift to say, well, you don't have to worry about it. No. We all have to come to grips with it. We have to face it. And the power of the incarnation invited me to take a good, hard look at my responsibility to this body, to my own body, to integrate in this body, to gain self-mastery over my temptations, to manipulate my body for sexual pleasures, or bypassing the Creator's intent for sex and hooking up with other guys, or whatever the case might be for you. We have to come to grips with that. We have to face that, and we have to take what's our responsibility in that? So sex is an important aspect of it. Now, people will say, well, that's so rudimentary, or, you know, you're not looking at the nuance of all this and whatnot. We love that word today, nuance. Everything is nuanced. It's so nuanced. I never understand what people are saying. But I think it's just safe to say we're all sexed beings, and that means that we have a responsibility. You know, so look at yourself, you know, as a man, as a woman, in your bodily reality, and there's something imprinted on that body. That means that you're a gift, you know. If you're a man, you're made for woman, and vice versa. If you're a woman, you're made for man. That's a bigger reality than just generating life. It actually has such a deep spiritual implication, spiritual and emotional and relational implication. I'm made to receive. I'm made to give. I'm made to receive, and I'm made to give. What does that mean, right? What is that trajectory for my life? What is the destiny for that in that regard for me? Well, I dare say don't take anything off the table because you experience some form of disordered desire like same-sex attraction. Don't say I'm not made for marriage, or I'm not made for the priesthood. Say no. Go deeper. Go deeper and ask the difficult questions. Well, who am I? You know? And that may mean the Lord is inviting you to a hard look, some difficult work. I totally get it. I mean, for example, the Vatican has particular parameters when it comes to admitting men into the priesthood with homosexual tendencies. And that's totally understandable. But I believe deeper still, and this isn't incongruent with that Vatican statement, but to say that, you know, a man with homosexual tendencies can certainly become an integrated man. That's no obstacle to integration. It may mean he has to work a little bit harder than some other guys, but great. Blessed are you, brother. Blessed are you who are invited into a challenging marathon of chastity. Blessed are you. That's awesome. The fact that you can take a little bit more responsibility for who you are to become, for your sake, for the Lord's sake, and for the sake of the people around you, for your brothers and your sisters, your future wife, or the church or something, you know? So all of that I think is just so important. But, you know, gift giving can be certainly frustrated. I get that. I left the seminary, and I remember I started to date, and I was super pumped, you know? I was like, man, my name's Marco Casanova. It's a pretty cool name. I think I can relate to some women, and, you know, and I'm game for it. Well, it was a little bit more difficult than I thought. And I had this connection with Desert Stream, and disclosure of that was a little rocky with some women, and, you know, disclosure of my wounds, of my experience of same-sex attraction really led to some rejection, you know? So gift giving is hard stuff. Just because you're a gift doesn't mean that you're going to be received, you know? Nor does that mean if you are rejected that you have a pass to stop giving the gift, especially for you guys, for me too. So I had to open myself up to the possibility that my gift would not be received by these particular women. And therefore, I had to kind of, fight the temptations that maybe I am just damaged goods. And is this vision kind of too much? Is incarnate Jesus asking too much of me? This whole vision of like integration and all of that, is it too much? So I remember I was in a pretty low state of expectancy, and I went to Poland on a ministry trip, and I was like, man, I'm ready to kind of throw in the towel and just go back to the seminary. I think I'm integrated enough. I think they'll accept me. Maybe not. Who would have known? So I went to Poland, and I was on this ministry trip, and long story short, I met my now wife, and what is that to say? If you come to a Living Waters training, you will meet your spouse. I'm just kidding. That's not true, but you never know. You never know. But all that to say, I definitely was losing expectation, and the Lord, when I least expected it, caught my attention through this beautiful woman, and I realized that I'm still in the game. I'm still a good gift. And I can try to be a good gift and try to offer my gift to this woman. And it was crazy, I mean, we're in like Poland. This is a little town called Wadowice, right outside of Krakow. And so it was a little too much. Like, it was around Christmas time. It was snowing. It felt like a Hallmark movie. And I thought, is this real? Like, is this even a thing, But we struck it. And I told her I really liked her. And she said, thank you. She didn't say she liked me back. It's okay, Anya, I forgive you. No, but that's okay. It's like I needed to state my intention, I wanted to be a guy who wasn't going to come back to the United States, leaving my possible future wife back in Krakow, Poland, without her knowing that I really liked her. So I made sure that I told her that I liked her. I felt like incarnate Jesus was giving me courage, courage beyond myself. Isn't that like what it's about? It's kind of moving beyond ourselves. That's what the incarnation really is. It's an exodus out of ourselves. It's it's God condescending to our level in the best sense. What I mean by that word is that he comes out of himself and he becomes one of us. And so if Jesus can do that for me, I can do that. I can go beyond myself and take risks, in the name of gift giving. And so I did that, and we started to date, Zoom dates, all of this stuff. And, I remember telling her that I loved you. And again, she said, thank you. It's pathetic sometimes. She eventually said it back. Yes, my wife does tell me that she loves me today. Can you imagine? So the adventure was great. It was new and it was exhilarating. And, we came to know each other. We were coming to understand who we are, and my wife coming out of her own brokenness. And then, of course, me and my stuff, and just like being able to just to be known, to reveal oneself to another and to be received. It's an incredible thing. And, I meet some of these guys who are struggling with same-sex attraction, and I get it. It can be kind of like diminishing whenever it's just not working out, or it can be discouraging, or, whatever the case is. I hear you, brother, but I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you to keep going. You are a gift, and when the gift is received, it's so beautiful, and you are meant to be a gift received, and I'm just praying that for you, both men and women who are listening to this and who may be just kind of stuck. There is hope, I'm not under the impression that, it works for some but not for others. Honestly, that's so dumb. The reality is that Jesus, incarnate Jesus, is doing something in your life. He's making you a better gift, and he wants you to give that gift freely. And hear me right. I'm not talking like all of you are going to get married. That's not the point. The point is gift giving, giving and receiving, being received, giving and being received as a gift. And like there's a lot to work out. Like I think I'm a pretty good gift, but I'm not a perfect gift. I'm a pretty broken gift and a gift giver. It's a work in progress, folks. I mean, honestly, being married, I never thought I'd be refined in the areas that I am these days, But I'm still a rookie. I've only been married for 13 months. Thank you. It was my anniversary yesterday of 13 months, so I'll be receiving gifts. You can Venmo me. I'm just kidding. So the gift giving, it's broken. I mean, we're broken gift givers. Or at least we're gift givers, and we're becoming increasingly better. Incarnate Jesus wants to make us better gift givers. This is why I love Living Waters, because we're constantly in the flow of becoming better gift givers. And Living Waters is the grounds of my wife and I, at least. We want to do that. We want to do Living Waters because it makes us better gifts, one to another, So I need that. I need empowered incarnational communities to help me become a mature expression of the gift, to use language like JP2, to become a mature expression of the gift. Now, what does that even mean? Well, I have much healing, but I'm a guy with a particular experience of brokenness. So just because we've experienced healing doesn't mean that we're, done or we don't have to, deal with our familiar vulnerabilities or the old demons that are knocking at the door that you kind of at times like the sound of their knock, whatever the case is for you. We have to constantly be probing good community and the divine mercy that they both help us to become mature expressions of the gift. So, all that to say, the incarnation really helps me. I think he's going to help you too. I just believe that. I believe the incarnation is, he's alive and well, He's risen from the dead. He reigns on high at the right hand of the Father, and he wants something magnificent for your life. And this isn't like a prosperity gospel, like, believe in God and you'll get the Lamborghini. It's to say, you're made for a purpose, and that purpose is gift giving. And the reality of that is so true that it's threaded in your very being, in your very sexuality, in your very body. And by golly, I think the Lord wants to do something with that. So the question is, will you let him in? Let him in. The sky's the limit.